In the glory days of wrestling, Brian Maxine was one of the biggest names the sport had ever seen. He was a fantastic villain. He was a fantastic worker. He had the crowd in the palm of his hand. When I came into the game in the late 70s, we had probably over 100 matches with fantastic reaction, mainly down to Brian and the reputation that he'd built. We were both big practical jokers, and we had travelled 1,000 miles and had 1,000 laughs on the way. Not least the time we bought the electric shock hand buzzer, and it took us 5 hours to get home from Birmingham because we were buzzing everybody from the bottom of the M1 back to Brixton. Fantastic times, never to be repeated. God bless you, mate, wherever you are. Thank you for all the great times, and thank you for all the great laughs. And I will see you on the other side.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You can beat the world, you can beat the war, you can talk the guy, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you gon' find yourself
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And the world's gonna know your name.
Yeah.
Cause you burn with the brightest flame.
Yeah.
And the world's gonna know your name.
Yeah.
And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you can get the gold, breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even tried?
I can jump those scales.
I've been pushed by this amount of clients ever. Thank you very much.
Brian had this wonderful ability to rile the crowd, get them vocal. Not the biggest wrestler ever, but certainly made a very big impression. And he liked to laugh, Brian. He used to amuse himself. And my first memory of him, I think, was when I was travelling to the Isle of Wight. I had Sid Cooper in the back and Brian was next to me. And I'd not long passed my driving test, so I was a bit nervous anyway. And Brian would constantly just put his hand on my gear stick and leave it there as I'm driving along. That's unnerving at the best of times, but when you just passed your test, he knew what he was doing. He was winding me up and he was having a laugh and keeping himself amused. That was Brian. He used to wind the promoters up as well. At the end of the match, he would say, "Referee, this man I've been on with cheated. He is a despicable bastard." He used to say that at the end of every match. And you could see the promoter go, "Oh, God." He said the B word in front of a family audience with kids. Again, he had that twinkle in his eye and he was enjoying himself. That was Brian. Great memories. God bless you, Brian.
Hi there. I've been asked to say a few words about Brian. Well, I followed Brian's career from around about 1968-69. I watched him become the British champion when he took the title of Alan Sargent. I watched him with Creighton Thompson when he took the middleweight title and was a double champion. He then went into a most amazing self-publicising career with handouts, flyers, etc. At shows. He certainly raised the people's opinion of him as a wrestler, and he definitely was a main attraction and a main eventer. Really a true legend. I've never seen, and for the length of his career, he gave 100% every time he was in the ring. Had some amazing matches. It's a sad day today, I must admit, here at his funeral. And all I can say is R.I.P. Brian. You was a real good wrestler and entertainer. R.I.P.
I was really saddened to hear that Brian had passed away. He really was a great legend of British wrestling. I remember him coming to the British reunion year after year, not only to see his former colleagues, but the fans as well, and they really appreciated the time he spent with them. I was also grateful to Brian for coming to the annual wrestling lunch in Watford, and I was very honoured to present him with an award there. Brian has left a legacy in wrestling that will live on for many, many years, and I know that we'll all really miss him a great deal.
When we speak about wrestling legends, Brian Goldbelt Maxine was a true British wrestling legend. He held the British Middleweight Championship for well over 25 years and defended it successfully on many occasions. I wrestled him many times during my career, and it was always a pleasure to do so, and it was always a pleasure to be around Brian. He was a great character and a great wrestler, and he's going to be missed by so many people. Rest in peace, Brian.
As you've seen by the other tributes, Brian Maxine meant a lot, not only to the wrestlers, but to the fans of British wrestling. He was great with the older generation, but the younger generation who met him at the annual wrestling lunch and the Bridges Wrestlers Reunion every year. On behalf of British wrestling, we'd like to thank Brian Maxine for everything he's done for British wrestling, and we'd like to send our condolences to his wife Julia and his family. Thank you, Brian, for everything you've done.
Standing in the Hall of Fame.